The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for the 17th day of October. There are 8 days left in this 1988. Didn't start another project and get all the way through there. 1988 regular season. Today we play the games of Sunday, September 25th, 1988, and are at Cleveland's Municipal Stadium for the Toronto Blue Jays and the Cleveland Indians. The Blue Jays will go with Jim Clancy on this Sunday afternoon. They trailed the Red Sox by a game and a half as we get underway. So, officially 5 teams left in the chase in the American League for those 2 spots. The A's are gone. It will be either Kansas City or Minnesota in the West. And in the East, it is the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, who pretty much it'll be one of those two. Detroit still technically within a shout, but they would need to have Fenway Park fall into the harbor in order for that to happen. So the Red Sox are unpassable and a game and a half up. But the Red Sox and Blue Jays start a 3-game set with our next stream on Monday. And so as soon as we know the 4 teams, that will do it, and we'll just go right to the playoffs from there. How you doing, Ben? And how you doing, Gus the dog? Woof, woof, woof. Did you get snow in Saranac Lake yet? We had a frost this morning here in town. It's nice and cold. All right, so Jim Clancy versus Rich Yett next, as the Blue Jays try to keep pace and put as much pressure on the Red Sox as they can as they get ready for their 3-game set starting Monday at Fenway. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1988. Today, from Cleveland's Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, it is the Cleveland Indians and the Toronto Blue Jays. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. And it will be Rich Yett and Jim Clancy going at it. This is game 156 for Toronto. And it doesn't really matter for the Indians, although they're 75 and 79. They've not had a bad year at all. Sunny. Oh, you had snow on Monday and Tuesday, and today you got sunny weather. Don't you love October weather in the great Northeast? Ben, you're in Wisconsin, right, Ben? Ben rooting for the Indians. Rich Yett is making his 21st of 22 starts. He's 26 years old. Fastball at 88 and a ground ball pitcher. He is 4-7 on the replay with a 5.09 ERA. He last pitched a week ago, almost 6 days ago, against the Tigers in a 6-1 win. He went 6 1/3, 96 pitches, 4 hits of shutout baseball. He walked 3 and struck out 7. And picking up his 4th win of the year, he's thrown 116 2/3, allowed 131 hits, 72 runs, 66 earned, 7 homers. He has walked 56 and struck out 64. Okay, I thought you were. Ben is out in Wisconsin. Tony Fernandez will lead off for the Blue Jays at short. Kelly Gruber at third will bat second. Ernie Witt behind the plate will go third. George Bell cleans up in left. Fred McGriff is at first. He'll bat fifth. Rance Mulliniks, the DH, goes sixth. Rick Leach, who won't get a hand-to-hand here in the Columbus area, is in right. He'll bat seventh. Rob Ducey in center will go eighth. And if we need to replace Leach or Ducey, we will. And Manny Lee will bat second, playing ninth. Yet can get you about 6 on a good day. Defensively for the Indians, Mel Hall a 5 and a 2 in left. Joe Carter touches them all at 8 and a 5 in center. Corey Snyder is a 7 and 9 in right. How you doing, Andrew? And Scotty. Williams is a 2 at third. Jay Bell is 6 at short. Julio Franco is a 5 at second. And funky cold Louis Medina is a 6 at first. Andy Allen's in a 6 and a 5 behind the plate. I think that's Andy. And Yet is a 7 on the mound with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Andrew is in Heartland, Vermont, where it is sunny and 53. I don't think it's 53 here. Nope. It says 47 degrees, and it was 32 this morning. We had a frost. I believe our first of the year. I know when I went to the coffee shop this morning, I didn't get an iced latte. I got myself a Earl Grey. Tony Fernandez at 290, 6 homers and 63 RBI, and because of the importance of this game, I am playing the Blue Jays and not the Indians. Pitch to Fernandez. Here's a ground ball to Franco, who throws it to Medina at first, and that's how this one starts, 1 away. Kelly Gruber at 308, 16 homers and 76 RBI. So there are 7 days left of the season after this. And we have picked pretty much any meaningful Kansas City, Minnesota, Boston, Toronto game that you can. It'll be pretty much the American League the rest of the way. Pitch to Gruber. Ground ball right side, base hit. So Snyder will pick it up, and Gruber has himself a 1-out single. For Ernie Witt, who was one of those players that just not going to let you die. You know, he is the rye seed that gets stuck in your teeth if you're an opposing player. Ernie at 259, 17 homers and 67 RBI. Heartland is in the southeast part of the state. Sunny and double 55 in Cleveland, Ohio. Will be cold this afternoon on the corner of Carnegie and Ontario as the Guardians tried to save their season against the Yankees. Andrews at work. 45 and rain with the Goats this morning. I think Scotty's going to be rooting for the Guardians, although I think baseball would love to have a Dodger-Yankee World Series. Pitch to Witt, runner on first is Gruber. Ground ball up the middle. Franco goes to Bell for 1, and Jay throws to first, and that will be a 4-6-3 double play. Blue Jays get a hit, and that's it. After half an inning, no score. So Jim Clancy, who is a one-hitter on his dance card this year, is 33. He is a fastball pitcher at 85 and a standard pitcher. He's making his 30th start of the year, so he'll get one more. 14 and 10 with a 3.90 ERA. 18th in wins, 25th in earned run average. Up in Toronto a few days ago, 6 days ago, against the Red Sox in a 14-5 win, which I think we did this game. He did not get the decision somehow, some way, despite 6 innings, 107 pitches, 6 hits, 3 runs all earned, 2 homers, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. The one hitter, by the way, came against the Twins on August 2nd. Clancy, on the replay, 196 innings, 201 hits, 91 runs, 85 earned. He's allowed 25 homers. He's walked 47 and struck out 109. This will be the Indians lineup. Julio Franco, who's already 30 years old, leads off at second. The Dave Clark 5 is the DH. He believes in bits and pieces. Joe Carter in center will go third. Corey Snyder, who wears his sunglasses at night, will clean up in right field. Mel Hall in left will bat fifth. Funky Cole Louis Medina is at first. He'll bat sixth. It's Eddie Williams, a household name in his own house, at third, batting seventh. Andy Allenson behind the plate goes eighth, and Jay Bell will bat ninth at short. Clancy can give you 7 on a good day. Defensively for Toronto, George Bell a 4 and a 4 in left. Rob Ducey is a 3 and a 4 in center. Rick Leach getting a notion full of garbage is a 6 and a 3 in right. Kelly Gruber an 8 at third. Tony Fernandez a 10 at short. Lee a 7 at second. McGriff a 6 at first. Ernie Witt a 5 and a 4 behind the plate. And Clancy is a 7 on the mound with a 9.23 ERA. Ben is not rooting for a Yankee-Dodger World Series. Ben says Andy Messersmith in his 72 inside pitch replay got a one-hitter and a 2-0 win over San Diego. D.B. Cooper, interesting that comes up in chat. That, D.B. Cooper's disappearance from that airplane happened the day before I was born. Julio Franco at 298, 11 homers and 63 RBI. Clancy starts his effort with a walk, ball 4. So a full count fastball missing inside. Julio can steal. Dave Clark at 286, 3 homers and 16 RBI. And the throw to first, and Franco is back. Clancy deals. And it's a ball. So runner was going to go and Franco and couldn't get a good jump. This is game 156 for Toronto and 155 for Cleveland. Clark swings, line drive, right side, and out of play. And somebody from Akron made that catch, and it's a ball and a strike to Clark. Might be 2 here. Gruber will gobble it up. No, only play is to first. A long throw. Clark's running, and Dave is out. So Franco moves to second. 1 out for Joe Carter, who's had a very good year. 289, 29 homers, and 109 RBI. Clancy deals. Struck him out. That's 1 for Jim. A 1-2 changeup. Swung on and missed, and here's Corey Snyder. Corey at 276, 25 homers and 71 RBI. Or 74. Struck him out. Clancy got him on an 0-2 fastball looking. So the Indians will leave on a runner, and after 1 here, it is Toronto nothing, Cleveland nothing. There's a couple poor souls out there in one of those sections that's closed off for the batter's eye as George Bell steps in at 263. 16 homers. That's not a lot for George, but he's driven in 112. So a couple poor souls out there left of the camera well, kind of standing there with their dog costumes on. They forgot that it was an Indians day and not a Browns game. Pitch to Bell. Struck him out first for Yet. An 0-2 fastball swung on and fouled in the glove of Allenson. 1 out. For McGriff hitting 287. Fred has 33 homers and 95 RBI. Scotty walks the dogs in D.B. Cooper territory. We've had one eye open for his missing cash and one eye open for Sasquatch. Did none of that cash ever show up? They must have had an idea of what the serial numbers were. You had a bear sighting in the neighborhood. That's always cool. You got a new puppy whopper there too, right? Or is that the kitty? Pitch to McGriff. There's a base hit into right field. Snyder will pick it up, and McGriff has a single. Rance Mullenix at 278, 13 homers, and 66 RBI. Not Gus says he believes a father and son found some at some point. Up the middle, that's a base hit. So Carter will pick it up, and McGriff's going to hold. Now, this time of year, one of the rare grass multi-purpose facilities. The Browns have played a few games here, and this place is a bit chunked up, so it's going to take a weird bounce or two. Rick Leach at 288, a triple and 21 RBI. 3-month-old kitty. A small amount, I'm being told, was found. I won't tell you where the rest of it is then. Pitch to Leach. There's a fly ball to right. Snyder comes in, makes the catch, and McGriff and Mullenix go back. Will Fred tag? Nope, Snyder's got a good arm. 2 out for Rob Ducey, hitting .429 and 3 RBI. So first and second, 2 out, no score. Second inning. Ducey on the ground of first. Medina is there, and that will retire the side. Blue Jays strand 2 and do not score. They get 2 hits, and that's it. After an inning and a half, no score. That's right. Cleveland Municipal Stadium, where the grass was made to look painted like come November. Now, I bet you don't miss that. Maybe you're talking about, you're for that dude dome they want to put in. Bill Hall at 261, 7 homers and 50 RBI. You missed the barefoot kicker more in the NFL than playing on baseball infields. I think I've told you this story before. I'm actually, one of the first streams I ever did was the 58 NFL Championship game. Pitched a hole. There's a liner in the right center, and Leach will pick that up off a hop. And Hall's digging for 2. The throw to Fernandez, and Mel has his 30th double of the year. So Leach, again, we said the hops there aren't necessarily true this time of year, and Hall read that one all the way for a double. So here's Medina at 159, 2 homers and 8 RBI. They didn't really roll in a lot of saw it in and out in the 50s. And so when the Giants and the Colts played their 1958 NFL Championship game, not only was there straw on the field, so it wouldn't necessarily freeze, but they spread a little fertilizer on it as well. And as Scotty can tell you from the farm, fertilizer always smells so fresh. Pitch to Medina. Hit him. Got him right in the ribs, so first and second, nobody out for Eddie Williams. Eddie, remember him there, Tim? Is 2 for 10 on the replay with 2 strikeouts. I don't think there can be a barefoot kicker anymore. Rich Carlos was the last one, wasn't he? There has been a drop kick in an NFL game since there was a barefoot kicker. Doug Flutie. Someone else tried that too. But Doug Flutie in his last ever game. And made it. That was awesome. Pitch to Williams. Eddie bunts that one. Foul. And the count is 0-2. Got him. And 0-2 from Clancy. He just stood there like a barn on the side of the road. 1 out for Andy Allenson, hitting .293, so a good year. 3 homers and 49 RBI. Jeff Wilkins was the last barefoot kicker, okay? And it was someone from Cleveland who was the last player to be able to wear the single bar face mask. It's still only worth 1 point. Doesn't make it any less fun to watch. Pitch to Allenson, runners on first and second. Ground ball to Lee. This should be 2. Goes to Fernandez for 1, and there's no throw to first. So Medina, with a pretty good roll block slide, prevented the throw, and there's 2 out for Jay Bell, hitting .204, 3 homers, and 15 RBI. So runners on the corners, 2 out here in the second for Clancy as he faces Bell. Jay hits a ground ball to Lee, makes a diving stop, throws to first, and now take care of business. So the Indians do not score as Lee gets some accolades from his teammates as they head back to the dugout. No runs, a hit, no errors. We go to the third. Toronto and Cleveland are scoreless on Lake Erie. Yet Scott Player, and I've saw a picture of him recently on Facebook, and that face mask bar was angled down so much. It's like, why bother? Manny Lee at 258, 2 homers and 34 RBI. They make the playoffs. I'll find his picture. Up the middle, over the mound. Bell gobbles it up in front of the bag over to first for the out. So 1 out. Bell just 23 years old. Here's Tony Fernandez. He's 0 for 1. So yet, not a bad opening, not at all. 32 pitches, 2 1/3, 3 hits, and a strikeout. Player looks like he could have come off any college rugby team and brought his own kegs. Fernandez up the middle. Bell second verse, same as the first. He has to hurry. Fernandez is running, and Tony's out on a bang-banger. That was a better bounce to Bell. It wasn't as good of a play. He didn't need it, though. And there's 2 out for Gruber, who's single. Left field. Hall has it for the out, and there go the Jays in the third. So Rich yet pretty clean so far. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom of the third here on a 78-degree day in September in Cleveland. I know, right? No score. So Clancy, an opening 9 of 44 pitches. 2 innings, a hit, a walk, a hit batsman, and 3 strikeouts. Franco was the walk. Ground ball to third. Gruber stops. Diving play over to McGriff for the out. So 1 away, and Clancy tips his cap. For Dave Clark, who's 0 for 1. Right back to Clancy, third base side of the rubber. Throws to first for the out. Considering that Municipal Stadium was primarily built for the Indians, I forget what year the Rams started, but this was a baseball. It was built for the Olympics that never came, but primarily as a baseball facility. It fit so well as a football stadium. It was the quintessential old-style football stadium that the Browns had, as we said, the painted dirt and the frozen infield and the dog pound and all that. It just, as a kid, I'm sure this felt different if you grew up in the area. It just never felt like a baseball stadium. Joe Carter struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Got him. That's 4 for Clancy, and we're through 3. No runs, no hits, and no errors. And we go to the fourth. It is Toronto and Cleveland scoreless. So Witt, Bell, and McGriff. I don't want to say that, it wasn't like Exhibition Stadium where they squeezed a baseball field into a CFL field. Or Joe Robbie in Miami in a few years, which, it wasn't. But Mr. Gillies must have gone a few times. Always plenty of available seats. What'd you think of the old ballpark? Pitch to Witt. There's a fly ball to the left, the opposite way. Hall will track it down, and Mill will make the catch, 1 out. For George Bell, who struck out his first time up. Fly ball, right center. Carter moving over, makes the catch, and slides on that grass to make a great play. Or the LA Coliseum. That was always supposed to be a temporary facility anyway. Fred McGriff singled his first time up. Yeah, for baseball. The Dodgers looked into Wrigley Field in Los Angeles. You would know that more as where the Classic Series Home Run Derby was filmed. Pitch to McGriff. Fly ball to right. Snyder will make the catch, and that'll do it. So no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the fourth. No score. We get to Tribe Fan in a minute. Here are the standings. The Reds cannot clinch today. They can clinch as early as tomorrow. The Mets have done their duty. The Red Sox lead the Blue Jays by a game and a half. They start a 3-game set Monday, and as long as those games matter, you're going to see them. Right now, the lead is a game and a half, and the magic number is 7. Tigers' elimination number is 4. In the West, it's just Kansas City and Minnesota, and that's a game and a half. And again, lots of split doubleheaders and such to get you through the rest of the regular season. Corey Snyder struck out his first time up, and he'll strike out again. That's 5 for Clancy. It wasn't great, he says, especially sitting behind the poles. You really can't see him in these pictures here, but obstructed views were how they built stadiums. Those wooden seats that you can bang up and down through, or the trough urinals, was so happy when the J came around. That's right, the PCL, Pacific Coast League Angels, as Andrew says, played there. It only seated 20-some-odd thousand, and I forget. Now, the Chavez Ravine, or Dodger Stadium, was on the board when they moved out there. Controversial bit of history all onto its own. But they were offered Wrigley Field, and they went to the Coliseum instead. Mill Hall has a double. He's 1 for 1. Slow chopper to third. Gruber has it. Throws to McGriff. Hall's running down the line, but he makes the play, and there's 2 out for Medina, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Fly ball left field. Bell is there, and that'll take care of business. We've played 4. No runs, no hits, no errors. Clancy and Yan are matching zeros. So Mullenix, Leach, and Ducey to face yet here in the 5th. Durant singled his first time up. Interesting development. I'm not sure how true this is. Was reported in the Athletic and MLB trade rumors that Eddie Reinsdorf might be looking to sell to a group led by Dave Stewart. Pitch to Mullenix. Fly ball left field. Hall will track it down, 1 out for Leach, who's 0 for 1. Now, the interesting thing about any group led by Dave Stewart is that he is part of the group that wants to bring an expansion team to Nashville. So if that is true, the White Sox being sold or potentially sold, does that mean they would move? Pitch to Leach. There's a ground ball to Bell. Jay has it, throws to Medina, and Leach is out on a bang-banger, 2 out. For Rob Ducey, who's 0 for 1. The other stadium news, of course, is that the Trop may not be playable ever again. Are you going to really spend all that money to reintroduce a roof for a stadium that's only going to be there for 3 more years? And no, they're not going to go play in Oakland. Pitch to Ducey. There's a ground ball to third. Williams has it over to Medina. And, wow, halfway home in this one. And there is no score. We'll be back in a moment. Well, let's go through this exhaustive game recap, shall we? Okay, enough of that. Jim Clancy, a 1-hitter through 4, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. And Rich Yett pitching the game of his life, a 3-hit shutout with 1 strikeout through 5. It'll be Williams, Allenson, and Bell to face Clancy here in the 5th. The thing with Montreal is it would make a lot more sense if they didn't have the deal to build the stadium in the parking lot for Tampa or in St. Petersburg, which I'm not sure how that alleviates the problems of no one going to the Trop to watch games if you're staying in the same neighborhood. Montreal made a heck of a lot more sense when that was being floated around as a possible permanent location. But I believe the funding is there, and I believe that the deal in the parking lot is a done deal. But I'd like to see it. And again, we've talked about this before. Williams struck out his first time up. Struck him out again, and that's 6 for Clancy. And an 0-2 fastball got him looking. Is that the histories of the Expos and the Rays are so eerily similar. Eerily similar. Andy Allinson's 0 for 1. Yeah, if it's temporary, I suppose if there is anything to the White Sox in Nashville, that would take Nashville off as an expansion. I can't imagine anyone wanting to deal with Oakland. And so, if Montreal can show it could support a team for 3 years, well, do you put it up there with Portland and Charlotte as possible expansions? Oh, I'm sure they'll outdraw what they get now. Yeah, they have the time, but the Montreal, they're still bitter after 94. Scotty's just across the river from Portland, where they think they could use a team, but they converted the only viable stadium for soccer. Yep. 81 Expos had to strike hurt them as well, but they did make the playoffs. Pitch to Allinson. There's a base hit in the left center field. Ducey will come in. And so that's only the second hit. Here's Jay Bell. Jay is 0 for 1. Clancy deals. Struck him out. That's 7 for Clancy. How about that? A 1-2 curveball swung on and missed. So Clancy, 18 batters, 80 pitches, 4 2/3, 2 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. You can't do any better than that. Franco 0 for 1 with a walk. How you doing, Mike in the truck? Yep, they almost made that World Series. And they finished within a shot of the Phillies in 93 as well. But that was not as close as it appeared. Franco, runner on first, draws the walk. So first and second, 2 out for Dave Clark, who is 0 for 2. Toronto trying to stay with at least a game and a half back of the Red Sox on this Sunday, September 25th, 1988. That is into center field, and Ducey's going to grab it on a hop. Allinson should round third. Ducey has an average arm, and the throw goes in the infield, and Cleveland draws first blood, 1-0. So that brings up Joe Carter with the 7-game hitting streak. Joe has struck out twice. The exhibition games with Toronto have done well. Pitch to Carter. Fly ball left field. Back goes Bell. That's down the pole and gone. Joe Carter hits his 30th of the year, and Cleveland gets on the board 4-0. So Carter now has driven in 112 on the season. And we'll go get Jim Clancy. And Carter indeed touched the ball, as all Bill could do was turn and watch it go. I'm not sure for Montreal as we go to the pen. Who we got? We got gonna go with. I don't want to go with Stottlemyre, or do we? Gonna go with Mark Eichhorn. Could go with Cerruti. Let's go with Cerruti. So Cerruti will come in. He's making his 32nd appearance of the year. He's 5-5, a 3.76 ERA, 28 years old, fastball 87, and a standard pitcher. Last pitched on the 14th, so plenty of rest. An 8-1 win over the Tigers. Inning in 2/3, 34 pitches, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. 103 innings, 110 hits, 48 runs, 43 earned, 11 homers, 36 walks, and 45 strikeouts. Corey Snyder is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. The computer loves this move for the Indians. All right, thanks, Andrew. Be safe. Pitch to Snyder. Right back to Cerruti, over to McGriff for the out, and Snyder is retired. However, the 3-run homer from Joe Carter is big, and after 5 here in Cleveland, 4-0 Indians. So Lee, who is 0 for 1, Fernandez and Gruber. Rich yet is throwing a gem through 5. There are 2 teams in the Portland area, Scotty says. The A-League Hillsboro Hops and the wood bat team, pro team, the Portland Pickles. College kids using wood bats for the first time. Yep, we have one of those leagues here. We have 2. One, the Lake Monsters, that's what they do here, Futures League, and another league in the state capital of Montpelier, the Vermont Mountaineers. Pitch to Lee. There's a base hit left field. Hall will pick it up. It is good baseball, too. Only the 4th hit for the Jays. Here's Fernandez. Tony is 0 for 2 yet. 60 pitches, 18 batters, 5+ innings, 4 scoreless innings, and a strikeout. Allenson and Yet have a word. Rich from the stretch. Fly ball to right. Snyder will make the catch, and Lee goes back to first. So 1 out. Kelly Gruber is 1 for 2. We're taping Digital Dice tomorrow. The website, I think it's digitaltodicecon.com for information on the convention, May 16th through 18th, just outside of Foxwoods in Connecticut. Pitch to Gruber. There's a ground ball to Bell. Should be 2. Franco for 1, and Gruber's going to reach as the throw to first is not in time. So 2 outs on the fielder's choice. Here's Ernie Witt. Ernie has grounded into a double play, and he's 0 for 2. Oh, does Plattsburgh have a wooden bat team, too? Along with Glens Falls, of course. Pitch to throw to first, and Gruber's back. It was a dark day when they folded the New York Penn League, which was not in Plattsburgh, but in Burlington, the Vermont Lake Monsters. But I gotta say, since being transferred over to that Futures League, it has gone extremely well. And C.J. Newton should get all the credit in the world for what they've done with that team. Pitch to Witt. Fly ball, right center. Carter will come in and make the catch, and that'll do. Blue Jays get a hit, and they've left on 3, and after 5.5, it's the Indians 4, the Blue Jays nothing. Yeah, we don't talk about the end of the New York Penn. I honestly do not know, as Mel Hall's stepson, 1 for 2 with a double, how the Capital District doesn't have a double-A ball club. They supported the A's and then the Yankees. And when that team first came in the Eastern League in the mid-'80s, they played at Bleecker Stadium, which I think was a remnant from Hadrian's Wall. I mean, that place was just... There are dumps, and then there was Bleecker Stadium, but they built that ballpark out in Colony, which is no longer there. And Ron Kittle is going to pinch it. Kittle as a pinch hitter, 370, 2 homers, and 7 RBI. That's pretty good. Overall, 236, 17 homers, and 45 RBI. There's a fly ball to left. Bell will come in, make the catch, 1 out. Here's Medina. Louis is 0 for 1. Been hit by a pitch. Cerruti deals. Struck him out. First for John. A 1-2 curveball. Got him looking. 2 out for Eddie Williams. I wonder if Eddie will stay in the game. Yeah, they ended up being a New York Penn team. And again, in Troy, they played at Bruno. I mean, there's 1 million people in the Capital District, with a lot of new tech money there. Williams stays in the game. Base hit up the middle. How about that? So Williams has a 2-out single. Only the 5th hit for the Indians. Here's Andy Allenson, who is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. Gets away from Witt, and Williams moves up 90 on the wild pitch. So 2-1 count to Allenson. There's a slow chopper down to third. Gruber has it, throws over to McGriff. And that will take care of business here in the 6th. The Indians threaten but do not score. No runs, a hit. They've left on 4. We go to the 7th in a 4-0 ball game. So George Bell is 0 for 2 with a K, yet clearly his best outing of the year, a 4-hit shutout through 6. Chopper to Bell. Bell to Bell. And that's an out. And so that one got rung. Here's Fred McGriff. He's 1 for 2. Fred has a single. Blue Jays have 4 hits in this one, and that's it. Walked him. So McGriff will take the free pass. Allenson didn't like that call at all. Full count. And Allenson tried to frame it, but it was just inside, and he wasn't going to get it. So 1 on and 1 out for Rance Mulliniks. That's Yett's first walk of the ballgame. Mulliniks is 1 for 2 with a single. Ground ball to first. Medina to Bill for 1, and a throw back to first, and it is a 3-6-3 double play. Stretch time, 4-0 Indians. It'll be Bell, Franco, and Clark for the Indians in the 7th. Jay is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So Rudy deals to start the 7th. Ground ball to Fernandez. Tony has it. A long throw to first. McGriff keeps his foot on the bag. 1 out. For Franco, who has walked twice, scored once. He scored in the 4-run 5th. And is 0 for 1. Pitch to Cerruti, or from Cerruti, first base side of the rubber over to Fred, and that is an out. So Cerruti fields that one well. Here's Dave Clark. Had an RBI single in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Stays in the game. Line drive to Lee. Manny leaps and makes the catch, and that'll do. After 7, no runs, no hits, and no errors. It is the Indians 4, the Blue Jays nothing. So Leach, Ducey, and Lee to face Yett here in the 8th. Toronto 90 and 65. They are a game and a half behind the Red Sox as we start play on this Sunday, September 25th. Pitch to Leach. Right back to Yet, third base side of the rubber, throws to first for the out, one away. Rob Ducey is 0 for 2 and showing me that he can still hit. To third, Williams. Had himself a day, has Mr. Williams. Over to first for the out. So 2 away for Lee. And again, we'll bat him. Manuel is at 1 for 2 with a single. Yet has been masterful. A 4-hit shutout with 2 out here in the 8th. Fly ball right center. Carter in that low October sky will make the catch, and that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. And after 7.5, it is Cleveland 4, Toronto nothing. So Carter, Snyder, and the newest manager of the Cincinnati Reds, Terry Francona, whose father Tito was a very good ball player in Cleveland, is now in left. Carter homered in the 5th, his 30th of the year, and has now driven in 112. Cerruti starts his 3rd inning. Base hit right field. Is Carter going to dig for 2? Leach had trouble getting that one out of his glove. Carter goes and has his 40th double of the year. They're making it very difficult for me to pick a player of the game. And Rich Yett's thrown a 4-hitter, and Joe Carter's been the offense. Here's Snyder. He is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. Cerruti spins, throws to second, and Carter is back. Gets away from Witt, and Carter moves up to third. On a wild pitch. So this may not be the A lineup for the Indians as we start the last week of the season, but you just never know. A 3-0 count to Snyder in the left center. That should score Carter. Ducey makes the catch. Carter tags and scores without a throw, and it's 5-0 Indians. For Terry Francona, hitting .302, no homers, and 16 RBI. If you're a Reds fan, you gotta love Francona coming to Cincinnati. And that answers the age-old question, baby. If you ever wondered whatever became of Tito. And Paul Savella's going to pinch hit. All that, but with a lefty on, no, we're going to have him hit. Tito stays in the game. Ground ball to Fernandez. Over to McGriff for the out. And Francona is retired. Medina is 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch and struck out. Cerruti, 3 full innings. Gave up that run. Pitched. Got him. So 2 for Cerruti, and that'll do it. Indians get a hit and a run. And after 8, it's the Indians 5, the Blue Jays nothing. So top of the lineup, Yet has only faced 27 batters on 93 pitches, which is fantastic. 8 innings, 4 hits. Tribe fan passed out about a half hour ago. A walk and a strikeout. Toronto 5 to tie and 6 to go ahead. And they pretty much have the A-team in here. Fernandez is 0 for 3. Yet starts the 9th. Fly ball right center. Carter moving over. 1 out. For Kelly Gruber. Kelly 1 for 3 today with a single. Gruber, McGriff, Mullenix, and Lee, the only 4 hits off of Yet in this one. Kelly's pitch. Line drive. Base hit down the line and left. Gruber is going to go into second, standing with his 28th double. As I just do my Sean McDonough impression with a cracked voice, and there is a sign of life north of the border. Ernie Witt is 0 for 3, grounding into a double play. And for those of you who are looking forward to RJL's next selection show, let me do my best Keith Morrison impression for you. Oh, those pesky Red Sox. The Baltimore Orioles just can't squeeze past them. It's 0 for 3. Fly ball right field. Snyder will make the catch, and Gruber goes back. So a last chance saloon for the Jays. Thank you. So here's George Bell. Rich Yett, 8 2/3. I don't think he got anything close to a shutout in real life. Bell is struck out. He's 0 for 3. And if Cleveland can get the 27th out, the Red Sox lead will be at least 2. Pitch to Bell. Into center field. Carter will track it down, and the Indians shut out the Jays 5-0. Rich Yett is going to be your Digital Dice MVP. 2 hours and 43 minutes. My goodness. Cleveland goes to 76 and 79. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and they left on 4. And how good was Yett? The Blue Jays only left on 4. No runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Yeah. Rich Yett goes to 5 and 7. And would you believe his ERA is 4.73? 9 innings, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, and a strikeout. So not only 9 shutout innings, but only one man out of the 31 he faced, or 2 out of the 31 he faced, didn't make any contact. Clancy gave up the 3-run homer to Carter, 4 2/3. He threw a lot of pitches, 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He moves to 14 and 11. He walked 2 and struck out 7. John Cerruti saved the pen for the Red Sox series. 3 1/3, 2 hits, a run it was earned, and he struck out 2 on 44 pitches. So we'll let that cycle out. The Red Sox magic number is 6. And we'll show you the American League stats here. So the rest of this Sunday for you, 1 week to go. We'll start with Montreal 16-2 over Philadelphia. Denny Martinez 14 and 10. Shane Rawley goes to 6 and 13. Tim Wallach, as soon as that pops back up, 4 for 6, hits his 8th and drives in 2. Montreal punched out 25 hits in that one. We've got a lot to read here. Doubleheader. Detroit and Baltimore split. Orioles beat Jack Morris 9-4. Williamson goes to 5 and 8. Morris 15 and 16. Freddie Lynn for the Tigers drives in 3, hits his 3rd, goes 3 for 5. In the nightcap, Tigers get that split 6-3. Doyle Alexander 13 and 13. Batista goes to 3 and 16. Torey Lovullo 2 for 4, his first of the year, and drives in 2. Reds drop their magic number 1 because the Dodgers win as well. 7-1 Cincinnati. Norm Charlton beats Blankenship and the Braves. Charlton 3 and 2, Blankenship 0 and 2, Barry Larkin 2 for 4 with a steal. Cubs pound, and I mean pound the Pirates 14-4. Rick Sutcliffe 14 and 15, Dunn 7 and 13, Law 4 for 5, hits his 11th and drives in 2. The Pirates make 4 errors in the game. By the way, that was Joe Carter's 30th homer in the shutout, and Rich Yett, what a performance. Red Sox 10 innings from Roger Clemens. They beat the Yankees 3-2, and they go now with a 2.5 game lead as Toronto comes a-calling. Clemens is 17-10. Dave Righetti 3-11. Mike Greenwell 2 for 5, is 25th of the year. The Yankees are 77-77. WABC would like that. The Red Sox are 92-63. Rangers beat Seattle 8-7. Brown 1-1. Campbell 4-11. Jeff Brantley 3 for 5, 2 RBI and a steal. Milwaukee beats Oakland 7-2. Teddy Higuera 18-8. Storm Davis 14-13. Jeffrey Leonard 3 for 4, hits his 8th and drives in 3. The Mets beat the Cardinals 4-3. Randy Myers 4-6. Todd Worrell 5-9. Greg Jeffries getting ready for October, 3 for 4 with 2 doubles. Ravello Manzanillo strikes out 10. Doesn't get a win, but the White Sox beat the Royals 2-1. Don Paul is 2-2. Charlie Leverant is 13-14. Bobby Thigpen gets his 28th save. Twins cut the gap to a half a game. Frank Viola wins his 20th. They beat the Angels 5-1. Petrie 4-16. Dan Gladden hits his 12th, 3 for 4 and 2 steals. Dodgers, staying alive, 2-1 over the Giants. Tim Cruz 3-1. Joe Price falls to 6-4, and Martinez picks up the save. Houston, last but not least, Dennis Cook for the Giants, by the way, doesn't get a decision, throws a one-hitter through 8, but they're losing 11. He struck out 6. Astros steal 5. They beat San Diego 6-1. Force picks up his first win, 1-4. Harris falls to 0-1, and Terry Poole 4 for 5, 3 RBI and a triple. Monday, it'll be Musselman and Gardner. That will be the second game of the doubleheader. Seattle and Kansas City will be the first game. That's at 11:30 Eastern. So Kansas City first, Red Sox, Toronto second. We will do one of these games, I think, Tuesday night. Toronto, Boston, or Oakland, Minnesota. So Kansas City has an easier road because Minnesota has to get past Oakland. And just to tell you what's going on for the weekend series, the Red Sox will close in Cleveland. The Blue Jays have a huge advantage because they get Baltimore. Minnesota has California, and Kansas City has Chicago. So that's how the final 4 teams looking for these spots close it. Theoretically, the Red Sox have the toughest road. They spend their last week with Toronto and Cleveland. Toronto goes with Boston and Baltimore. Minnesota has Oakland and California, and Kansas City has Seattle and Chicago. And so when we put all that together, magic numbers and stuff, the Red Sox magic number is 5, Kansas City's is 7. We want you to have a good weekend, everybody. A new digital dice going up either tomorrow or Saturday, and then it's pretty much playoff baseball time here. So enjoy Game 5 or Game 6 of Boston and Baltimore. Oh, those pesky Red Sox on RJL, and we'll see you Monday for the doubleheader. Seattle, KC, followed by Toronto and Boston. Thanks a bunch for watching. We'll talk to you sometime soon. So long, everybody.